Good. I think the hashtag's whack. Because if it was still a number symbol, then we could use it. But it's totally lost its hashtag now. Forever, right? Hashtag. Yeah, that's right. I don't like it either. Okay. Welcome back for another podcast. I'm joined here by Pizza, our co-host of the Gamers Podcast, episode number 3 here. Wait. What's up, Cap? You actually made it. Cap, if you want to come in and join the discussion, you're always welcome. Moderators of the show are welcome to come in over on Discord and join the discussion anytime, as usual. Today we're going to be talking about PS5 pre-orders, a round of NVIDIA RTX 30 series cards also came out for pre-order, and we had the Cold War Alpha that came out over the weekend, Friday and Saturday. Started at little. It came out early. It was supposed to debut at 10 o'clock my time. I think they were advertising 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. But it came out, I'd say probably by about 12:15 Eastern time. It was available. That's when I jumped in. In fact, why don't we just start off by talking about the Cold War Alpha? I think it's probably the most the thing on everybody's mind this weekend. Those of you Call of Duty fans, zombie fans in particular, would notice that there was zombies in the menu. Pizza, what did you think loading up? Yeah. Did you ever get your stream going? I never got a notification. I just realized I didn't want to talk any further in case you weren't live yet. Oh, you are live. Okay, beautiful. Okay, cool. I dropped a like. Awesome. Yeah, I noticed a few bugs. I don't know how much time you had to... You can't hear Pizza? Okay, good. Good thing we resolved this now. So, we had not...
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, you're coming in loud
Can
and
you hear
clear
me
now,
now?
too. So, I made the intro. That's good. We're still working out the kinks here. All right. I think that for an alpha... I think here's the thing: is I've played a few alphas before. It's probably the roughest alpha I've ever played in my life. It had the most bugs that I've ever seen. I also maybe am at a point where I'm able to notice more bugs. I don't know. I'm not sure which one it is. Chalk it up to either one of those really. But one thing that bothered me was I noticed that a lot of the times you kill somebody and their weapon falls to the ground and it was falling straight up and down. The weapon would fall just like standing up,
Like
like
on its butt stock?
yeah, on its stock, just like it not instead of falling over to one side like how it should, or propped up on something. The physics just weren't there for the weapons. It's just sitting there like standing up, and it just completely ruined, as one of my friends quoted, the immersion of the experience. It was very hard to feel immersed when that was happening. So another thing that I noticed was, I mean, did you notice any bugs? I don't want to sit here talking all about all the bugs I saw, but that was just one bug that I noticed. For example, I know it's an alpha, but
Yeah. I feel like the sound was a little off too. I mean, as far as weapons, reload and fire in, I think it wasn't synced up very well.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, it's alpha. They'll probably tweak that out. And um, some of the cool things I did see in it was in Moscow. They had the Richtofen Matryoshka doll inside the map.
Yeah, they also used textures from Ascension, which was lit. um, I really liked seeing. Um,
Yeah, that Richtofen doll was directly the same one from Ascension.
is it? Oh, so all of those textures are from. So I did. I don't think I'm spelling Richtofen right, but all of the
I noticed it was
Cold War Easter eggs from
not
Alpha
zombies.
Weekend.
How's it going, Keanu?
Yeah, so I've got the image pulled up right now of the Matryoshka doll. I don't know what this is, where I was going with that, but yeah, it's you can kind of see it. There it is, right there. Matryoshka doll, Richtofen. I didn't know that that's on Ascension as well. Okay, that's good to know. But the CCP or what is like whatever it is, like Communist Party image that's from Ascension is also on one of the walls, and I was talking about that. So I was thinking that it's. I feel like. I mean, is it possible they're just teasing us with this, or is Ether's storyline coming back in the zombies? I know we saw Nocturne turn Toten, but doesn't necessarily mean we would see those same characters, which have been now essentially killed off. Maybe this is just as a little remembrance to them. It doesn't mean that we're gonna see them just because we're seeing. Even if we go back to familiar maps, doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna get to play as those old characters. What are your thoughts on that, Pizza?
So there's a lot of different theories, I guess, about what zombie crew it's going to be. Um, you know, from just story wise, like how are they gonna, you know,
Where do they go from here?
because like Tagdir and Toten, like
Yeah,
are they just be like, no, no, it didn't happen, like
yeah. No, they didn't
you
really die.
know, yeah. So I mean,
What are they thinking?
they definitely, um, unless it's an earlier version, unless they do like some kind of prequel, like
Brackets?
spinoff,
Oh,
right?
yeah. This is before it's all ended.
Um,
Oh man, that's really weak.
yeah,
That's really weak story wise, don't you think?
yeah. It's so I'm not sure. I think um, they were talking about having what's this guy? What's his name? He's been in uh, Warzone. Weaver.
Okay.
Weaver has had some crossover from campaign and zombies stuff, and his image was in the zombies um, trailer
Uh huh.
that was released. So we may see him in as part of the zombie crew. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So
Weaver is part
I
of the
mean, we'll
zombie
just have to wait
crew.
and find out.
Interesting. Interesting. So, in other, well, what else could I say about the Cold War? The other thing that needs to be said about the Cold War Alpha is how fun it was to snipe for those snipers. I wouldn't know. I take it from all the snipers that played the game said, wow, the sniping is so good. Don't expect it to be this good by the time the game comes out. They all said everyone's gonna complain about it and have it nerfed. I mean, pour one out for the homies.
Uh,
I'm a little bit of a hater
probably. I
myself
mean,
sometimes. Sometimes I feel
there
like
was
there should only
no
be one sniper on the map or something weird like on Halo. But I totally understand why that would ruin the fun for the other people, and I would never want that. You didn't find me
I just
tweeting out to Activision, but a lot of people were.
I feel like there wasn't enough sway in the sniper for how much damage it did. It like is to be able to quick scope like center mass like almost every time. It was. I feel like they do need to tweak it, whether it be where the you know um, aim assist is for the quick scope or whatnot. Something needs to change there. Um, it was just too easy to snipe.
I would agree that there was way too
Um,
much auto aim on just the weapons in general. I think that has something to do
yeah,
with them wanting. Sometimes I wonder, do they want us to feel like, oh yeah, I'm really good at this game, I should buy it, because if they max out on that auto aim. It was pretty
yeah,
intense. I figured out to get the right sensitivity for myself to where I was basically, I could probably quick scope myself onto people's heads if I was a little bit better at. Then I could definitely get halfway there, and if I was any good at it, I could probably finish off that shot. But I definitely think that there was a strong auto aim present in the alpha overall, just period. So don't expect it to be that
yeah,
same. They always do. They always tweak with it, and they already said it themselves. I should have probably pulled up an article that talked about that, but a lot of things I see on Twitter, I'm gonna try to keep note of next time, especially when we talk about it. But at the drop of the dime, I didn't have anything pulled up right now to talk about that. But
yeah.
in more PlayStation news, or did you want to say anything else
So
about Cold
no,
War?
so, yeah, yeah. So I'm a little confused on how they're going to do Warzone. Being part
Give me two
of
seconds. I'm sneezing over here. My bad.
that's all right. So Cold War, is obviously Cold War, and Modern Warfare is modern. So you have like these two different time periods going to be trying to vie for the war zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless they come out with a brand new map and they just totally do away with the map that's there now, I don't see how it's going to work
So I think that our map takes
with
place
the
in
older
Russia,
weapons.
and there are aspects of the Cold War storyline which obviously revolve around Russia. Hi, Ash.
Yeah,
I think that there's a huge possibility that basically we're gonna have hints and teases brought into the main Warzone map, but that's our Warzone map, and even into the next season, where you'll see just kind of like in Blackout, where you had the terrain was flooded with water, and then it was then it dried out, where you'll have maybe the lake will freeze there's a frozen lake and a river running all the way through Warzone, so I could see that thawing out, things changing there. Geographically, I could also see
yeah,
the map not changing much from where it is right now, and us only seeing intel missions that name characters, skins brought in, weapons. And I don't. And the hardest thing to manage, what Zeus and I couldn't figure out, is what's going to happen with those weapons. Will those weapons
exactly.
basically be different than they are coded in the two different games? Because how could they possibly be the same? They couldn't, could they?
Yeah, and like, how are you going to have the Cold War era weapons as well as the modern day weapons? It just like story wise and like I guess just content wise, it does it. I feel like they would have to introduce a whole nother map and then just take and the actual Warzone map that's out now is just going to be like last season's. Like, don't forget about it. You're not playing it anymore.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I don't see how they can implement Cold War into Warzone into the current map
yeah, I agree.
and have it make sense.
It's gonna be a little bit convoluted. It's gonna be a little
But
bit convoluted.
yeah,
In other PlayStation news, because that was a PlayStation only alpha. If you didn't even have to have PS Plus. A lot of people were confused about that. They thought they needed PS Plus. They were a little bit shocked to find out that you didn't. I would tell them, no, you could be playing it right now. You don't need PS Plus, and they'd be like, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna go
yeah,
play the new beta. So that was cool. That was always cool. But breaking that news to people over the weekend. But yeah, we got some clips. I I have a video from the other day that's basically just one good game that I'm just gonna chop. I accidentally didn't have my capture card on for the beginning of the stream. Not a lot of people showed up to it, so I decided to just to cut off the stream. But I'm gonna trim that and just have V1 because I did go. I went like 38 and 14 in that game. It was one of my better games that I had, and it was on satellite, which is the better map of all the three, definitely of the three multiplayer maps that they let us play. And basically,
I
I
feel
always say,
like it was a nice variety of maps, um, as in, there it was it was classic Treyarch 3, alleyway map type things, but then there was also ones that didn't really follow that format.
Miami
There's a
Beach
lot of
didn't
open
follow the
space.
3 lane format very well. It still had a lane system. It had the beachfront, the north beach side, which has that water and that sunrise on that side. The side where the sun is not at, and the beach, which is a lot darker, and you have the tiki bar along the whole in front of the hotel on the one side, and then you have like the parking
So
garage slash port side on the other
yeah,
side, and then down the middle of the
but that
street. That's
middle lane was just like
essentially,
wide open.
yeah, essentially that's 3 lanes if you really want to think of it classically, and really, however you kind of, it's sort of like 3 large lanes, kind of like a map like Origins almost. You have the hotel, and that whole hotel structure is sort of its own thing, kind of like being at No Man's Land is in the middle, and then you have on the opposite side, you really crossing over from, I'm not sure what you call that, but it's Charlie on the objectives, I believe, or Alpha, but it's right there. The hotel. I guess it's the lobby for a different hotel, is
Yeah,
it? It's a more different hotel. Those are all
yeah,
hotels lined up in there.
Keanu. Um, yeah, you didn't have to pre-order or anything. It was um, just on the storefront. You just had to go download the alpha.
Yeah,
So
it was a little bit
it
hidden
was
for
for
me,
all
but I
PlayStation.
just searched for it, and I knew that it was. I already knew, to expect it, so I was looking for it early. But um, and so in other PlayStation news, they sold PS5s, and it was did not go good for them. Sony apologizes for botched
So
PlayStation 5 pre-orders. Basically, bots bought out most of the PS5s. Very few people got their hands on them, and um, people were disappointed.
I, well, I feel like um, a lot of the retailers put it up a day early, and that's kind of what happened. They put a Retailers put it up a day early. No one got to buy any that was expecting it the next day. Walmart then put up another round of pre-orders the following day on the day it was supposed to be released, and then they were gone within seconds, like within a minute. They were all sold out. So, um, and Amazon sent an email to the customers who pre-ordered it, said you may not receive this on launch
On
day
launch day,
because of high demand.
yeah. So they're over here selling
So
people consoles for pre-orders that they don't have. They're just selling people in on
yeah,
the hype, and now they've locked in their money, and might not even get their product. I mean, most like a lot of Amazon customers are just charging it to their Amazon card or whatever. So maybe that's less of an issue. But just imagine that they might down the line have an opportunity to pick it up somewhere else, but they're locked into Amazon waiting for their order to be fulfilled.
yeah.
That's pretty sketch.
So yeah, and then PlayStation comes out and says, hey, we're gonna have more available by the end of the year. Um,
Sony says check
but
inventory
what
at
does that
Amazon,
mean?
Walmart, GameStop, and more. Pre-orders coming soon, says Sony.
Yeah.
Um,
So
this prompted some
I'll
funny
probably
business. People are desperate for PS5s, and one of the things that happened as they got desperate for PS5s is that they started to buy fake editions of the like somebody was like selling a PS5 for like $80,000 online. I saw the Relaxing End posting a picture of it on his Twitter page. I saw different scams for PS5 Paper Edition, which is funny because as one person said, "Wow, people are still doing that scam." I remember the PS2 Paper Edition when that was sold out, and I too remember that story being in the news. That's like an old scam that people are still trying and people are still falling for. That's crazy that people are still out there buying paper editions of anything. There's a little bit of talk about in an article here about because the new PlayStations weren't the only things that are being sold and sold out these days that people are really struggling to get their hands on. The new series of NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 cards came out, and someone was selling a paper edition online. Someone else was selling one for $99,000, and that's basically the exact same scenario that you saw with the PlayStations play out. Is the people have more money
I
than they do
think
sense.
a lot of people were, how do you say it? They were flooding eBay with these paper editions for like $1 or whatever, so that
It would
when you
clog up the
searched
listings.
for, yeah, it would clog up the listing so you couldn't find the, people who were trying to price gouge the actual,
Is there a word
you
for
know,
that? When something
goods.
amazing and like good for the consumers arises out of inspired by some treachery, some scam that's come up,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's probably someone's come up for somewhere. There's probably some old French word for it already because so much of our culture has already been lived out before. But yeah, this is all these different awesome things that happen in a consumeristic society. It's great. It's great. Consumerism at its best here, folks. People
yeah.
buying fake
So
cards
they
for way
they
too
pretty
much money. People buying real cards for way, way, way too much money. And then people using that trend of fake cards to mess up the people that were paying too much money. $99,000 eBay bids on a real RTX 3090 or whatever it is. All right, we're going to flood the market with $1 fake paper versions of them. And when they go try to search it up, all that comes up, the most popular listings are all these paper versions, right? And they can't even find
yeah.
the auctions to the scammers. Because I don't care if you got a paper version or a real card for 100 grand. You guys are both scammers. Get out of here. $99,000 for the newest graphics cards.
Yeah,
No way.
exactly.
Although, man, imagine playing Minecraft with RTX on with one of those new 3090s. If you're rich, that's definitely a good spend.
Out of all the games, he says Minecraft.
That's definitely how you spend a
he
hundred
doesn't.
grand if you're
He doesn't say.
baller. That's
He
real.
doesn't
That's
say
like
crisis. He doesn't
no,
say
no
like
Minecraft.
anything with some like graphical demand. He says Minecraft.
Minecraft, man.
Oh,
Build yourself the Taj Mahal. Yeah. So this is where we take questions and comments from the audience. What's up, Squall? What's up, King? Ash. We have friends of the show, Slothica and Captain Chronic passed by earlier. I'm not sure if they're still out there. Hey, what's up, guys? We also want to hear you guys' comments for names for the podcast. Pizza, you want to rifle off some names that we've got for the show?
so um, I kind of forgot already. I'm not gonna lie. So we had just a simple gamers podcast. Maybe we should leave it at that.
Gamers podcast.
Then
I
we
like
also
that.
had um,
Ayo.
we also had um, the post game podcast.
Post game podcast.
You know,
To me, that sounded very
yeah,
sporty, which maybe some of you guys are into that. I would definitely love to hear
or
some
or
input.
we could call it post gaming instead of just post game.
Post
Post gaming
gaming podcast, which is like brings the
Yeah,
focus back onto gaming in particular, and not just sports and
yeah, and it's like the podcast to listen to after you're done gaming
after
for
you're
the
done
night type
gaming for the
thing.
night.
Like
Okay. All right, all
you
right.
know.
I like that. I like that
Um,
too. Okay. We had another one. There was another
let's
one you had
see.
mentioned.
We had another one. Yep. I forget what it was. Do you remember?
Yeah, if you give me a second, it had, oh, right, I just remembered that it was already taken, so we had to scratch that one.
Oh
It had
yeah, I think
something to
so.
do,
There was a
yeah,
couple of them,
yeah, those a couple
like
ones.
the
Yeah,
Pixel podcast.
Pixel
Jose is there
Podcast,
saying,
and
"Hey,
then
what's
all
up,
the other
Chris?
ones you
How's it
seem to
going?"
be looking up seem to be taken already, but,
Yeah.
so, I'm over here looking at on the Reddit page for PS5 scams. But anyways,
Um,
so Zeus, if you wanted to jump in here and talk with us
Skull
about
says he has a name idea
what's the name idea.
in the chat. I don't
How are we
know.
going
He
to set
hasn't
up
put
these
it in chat.
polls? Are we going to set up a Twitter poll on my page, also in the videos? We'll do a video. If you guys like,
Um,
drop your vote
we
for any
should.
of the names that you
We,
like, or vote or a name that
we
you
will.
want.
Hey, let's drop some names in the chat for the name of the podcast, and then we will put it on a poll on Twitter. We'll have End host it on his Twitter, and then we will put the link in Discord. We'll also put the link in chat. If we can get enough names right away, we'll just throw it up there and we'll put the link to the poll.
Discord would be a fair place to do it. I feel like we have a good
Yeah.
some traction right now on Discord. We can get a good opinion from the crew. So we'll get a Discord poll going, and we'll add the votes from Twitter, and yeah, we'll figure it out. But those are our ideas. Let's list off again. So we have Gamers Podcast. We have the Post Gaming Podcast. Uh, and Pixels. Help me remember the other ones. I'm, for obvious reasons, have poor short term memory. And again, Zeus, if you want to jump in the Discord, have anything you wanted to say about the Alpha podcast, or the Cold War Alpha that you want to get off your chest on the podcast. I did want that to be an experience. I was hoping you would have jumped in at some point. But yeah, we are over on.
If I can remember any of them. We had like gaming timeout.
Gaming timeout. Was that, and that wasn't one of the ones that's already taken?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's the other one. The gaming timeout. Okay. I know that's not one of my favorites, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah. I see particularly Zeus not joining up or anything. But yeah.
Okay, so I have an idea. Let's see if it's taken already.
I pretty much, the only other thoughts I really had were that I think that splitting their player base between Warzone and Cold War is kind of cool. How it's really seamless. They have an integrated menu, so Warzone's right there. If you do go and play Warzone, you never really have to leave. Like, it opens up the other application for you. Technically don't have to leave the PlayStation menu, and furthermore, going forward with like more seamless integration. I always felt like PlayStation in general had really lackluster menu systems in comparison to Microsoft. If you ever had an Xbox, you might know what I'm talking about. It's sort of like a better media entertainment system to have in your living room than a PlayStation is, for a lot of reasons, in my opinion. Anyways, but I think that's really, I really like the seamlessness of it. Weekly gaming wind down. Oh, Zeus likes the weekly gaming wind down. Let's write that one down so we don't forget it. Pizza. Let's get them all in Discord. I'm gonna start writing them down. If someone did, you weren't already doing that, were you? Let's see. So the gaming podcast. No, I can't type. Gaming podcast. The post game. You still there, Pizza? The post game podcast. Weekly gaming. What does it say? Weekly. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, homie? Good night and much love. Yeah, you too, bro. I'm sorry for all the confusion earlier. I'm glad we straightened that out. Weekly gaming wind down, which is a suggestion from Zeus. Okay, weekly gaming wind down. All right, all right, all right. All good suggestions. No bad suggestions really. So once again, we're gonna get a Twitter poll going, and we're gonna I don't know what happened to pizza, but I lost them. Probably had to go do something real quick. But yeah, to recap, we talked about the Sony PlayStation's pre-sales coming out along with RTX 30 series cards. We talked a lot about the Cold War Alpha. We talked about the name of this podcast, name pending, but we're leaning towards the gaming podcast or weekly gaming wind down or the post gaming podcast. And if you'd like to put some input, maybe give us a suggestion and get included into our poll that we're going to do over on Twitter, and just sort of just get heard in general, any comments, concerns, or questions, just to hang out. Make sure to join our Discord, which I'm going to make sure to add into the description of this. If you're hearing this back, it should be in there by now. But thank you guys so much for coming out, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. This is the end.